What's up guys, Octave Gamer here. Welcome back to a brand new video. We're back with F1 2020 My Team Career Mode, Aston Martin Racing. I know it's been quite some time since I last uploaded a My Team video. It's been hella long. I know I've been really lazy over these past few days, but forgive me for that. So today, it's the French Grand Prix. Just to clarify, I do hate this race as well. A boring one on the F1 calendar. The track is as worse as anything on this earth. Technically, this track is a test track because there's just no action into it. It needs to be replaced with one of these high-quality circuits. I mean, there are only two graded tracks in France. There's Paul Ricard and Circuit de Nevers-Manicourt, or just Manicourt on its own. Manicourt is one of the best tracks, although there are some doubts whether an F1 car would be able to fit in there, in that track, since it hasn't been used in over 13 years. So we've got an invitational event at the very Paul Ricard. We're driving the Williams. I think it's Williams.
Now, while today's classic exhibition event has no direct impact upon the Formula One World Championship, you better believe that with their reputations on the line, the drivers down there are still hungry to show that they've got what it takes to get a win.
You know, just to tell you guys the truth, I didn't really do well on this program. So we're driving the 1996 Williams FW18. I didn't do so well in this program. I'm just gonna show you guys about a lap and just hear how the engine sounds. So we're going up against a few of Senna's cars. Yes, there are three of them, I think. Yeah, there are three of Senna's cars that I can see. So we're gonna rev the car, and it's lights out and away we go for us. This car is a bit comfortable to drive. It's got the beautiful sound, but yeah. So going through this first corner in Paul Ricard, we're already racing off in just about 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. Very strange, because I'll always do it after like 3 minutes or something. Into one of the worst parts of the track. I don't really like the section of the track. It's quite unfortunate. It's it's one of the most unfortunate parts of the track. Isn't really the best part of the track, but we are seeing what this car can do here, and this car is going up to like 6th gear or something. Not 6th gear actually. Yeah, it's going up to 6th gear, but not 7th gear. But this car's from 1996. Technology wasn't that high end back then. Unlike the cars that we have today, which are reaching about 8 gears. There's even an 8th gear. I mean, that's crazy. Time does fly. But I'm just going to be quiet for some moments. I'm going to let you guys listen to the sound of this wonderful car, the 1996 Williams FW18. Volume up and listen to one full lap. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a full lap of the Williams, the 1996 Williams FW18, the car that Damon Hill won the 1996 F1 World Championship with. And we just had to end off the invitational event at that point in time. And now we're getting ready to go with the modern F1 cars around Paul Ricard. So Paul Ricard, in my opinion, is a testing track. Not in my opinion, but it is actually a testing track. There's absolutely no racing that can be done there. Ever since the new layout was built, the track it's more of a testing track now. There's no real competitive racing. 2020, in my opinion, was just rubbish. Yeah, even though it was a bit exciting, was boring for me. Rubbish race at all. That's out of the way, and yeah, I'm really hoping for a good result. So off the real life parts and into the virtual parts of it, this place really looks good under the new kit. So under the new parts of well, I mean under the virtual parts of this game, we have done well. In the last race in Canada, we finished 10th, as you can see from the screens there. Our second best result of the season is a 19th at Bahrain, which is not good at all. 10th place in Canada, if we never made that mistake or took out Hamilton, would have been our best results. Even if we didn't make that mistake, if we didn't take out Lewis Hamilton, Canada would have been our best result of the season, either way. And also, if I didn't mess up a few things in that race, I'm sure it would have been way high up. If we nailed the strategy, if the strategy was on point, I'm sure we would have done well at that point in time. But yeah, it was crazy back in Canada. I wish Canada could happen for the rest of the season, just to give you guys a bit of action that my team career mode lack a bit. Although I really think that there could be some action in these next few races. The next race is Austria. There's Britain. There's Hungary. I think I had that on the calendar. And then there's Belgium. There's Monza. I think there's also Singapore in this added season. So kicking off the lap here, just to let you guys know, I was trying my first few laps without traction control. Now, if you're an OG on this channel, you know that I don't have a wheel. I know it could come very soon. We all start from somewhere. Don't criticize me. If you do, you're a big fool. We've all started from controllers at some point. If you say that you never started with a controller before, piss off. Get away from my video. Please don't, by the way. But you're being very hypocritical. If you say that you've never started on a controller. So using traction control, full traction control off on a controller is just as hard as lapping Monaco in an LMP1 car. It's literally that hard, except you've got a bit more speed, and except I can last a full lap of Monaco without breaking my front wing, unlike some few months ago when I was very bad. So going through this second sector of Paul Ricard, third sector I should say, as we absolutely lose the rear. Like I said, I was not using traction control. I don't even know what the hell happened there. But I guess it's back to the drawing board for the next lap. With 35 minutes, I'm sure we still have time for another attempt at the track acclimatization program. So let's ace this one. If we can't ace this one, I don't know which attempt we're gonna ace, because as we knock over that bollard, and now it's a Spinala. Talking about acing through turn 1 and 2, well, it's what they say, thinking about the lap instead of where you're actually going. So this time we've taken the first 2 corners beautifully at the moment. But let's just see how it is. This is the second lap of the track acclimatization program at the moment. I don't think I restarted. I didn't really see that. But this is pre-recorded, by the way. So yeah, let's just see how we do in this one. I know I'm not good without traction control, but this is just France. This track is horrible for a controller user without traction control. That's me. I don't know about you guys, but this track doesn't really make me excited or anything. It's just rubbish in my opinion. Sorry if you're a Port Ricard track member or work for this track. I'm sorry, but this track isn't that good. So into these few corners, I actually like this corner, saying something good until I missed my checkpoint zone, and then I slow completely down at that point of the track. So now we're getting into the final few corners. I really hate this corner as well. This is one of the worst corners I've ever known in my life of gaming or sim racing. I can rather say gaming. Sim racing, as the curb unsettles my car, and once again we've messed up a lap of Port Ricard. I'm not really surprised because I know I'm capable of doing this. Maybe it's just the removal of traction control on this horrible crappy track, but I'm sure we'll find our feet. I don't know if I'll continue with this until the race and qualifying, but let's just see how we do. Bad checkpoint there. I haven't even gone for a full lap guide like I usually do. Maybe it's just this crappy track. I guess it is crap in my opinion. I'm sure you guys can agree as well. But enough insulting the track. Instead, we can only insult ourselves for being behind Mick, which is not really a good sign. But I guess in the week, throughout the weekend, we can improve. It's not the end. There's still a long way to go. Apart from the fact that we've just lost a 10th in that second sector. Let's not try to light up the rear tires. I'm sure that's why we're spinning all over the place like a wet sponge. Or best example, Nikita Mazepin, who is not in this season. He's not driving for any team. I didn't decide to choose him. Just all the good stuff. So we're coming to the end of the program and the lap as well. Thank goodness that we are actually having that. And into the final corner, let's try not to go wide. That's exactly what we haven't done. And coming onto the straight now, we have completed a full clean lap for Ricard and we're into 7th place. Now, starting the qualifying simulation program, I think I actually got rid of traction control for this one, but I'm not quite sure. Into turn number 1, into turn 2, climb over the curb there. And then moving into these few corners, I don't know if that's turn 3 or not, it's just a small kink. Into so-called turn 3, and then turn 4, yes, I think this is turn 4, and then into turn number 5, I also dislike this corner. Turn 6, just keeping the car together. Into turn number 7, yes, it's turn 7 actually, I saw on the board. Now, open the DRS. Make sure you want to keep your foot or your finger, your index finger on the throttle or the trigger like me. And then into turn number 8 and 9, the chicane, and blasting down the Mistral straight. It is still the Mistral straight, it's just a Mistral straight with a chicane as we light up the rears again, and now this time we're into the barriers. Well, I can't really be surprised because I've just made that mistake. That silly mistake. I don't even know what happened there. The rears just went boom, and into the barriers we went. So many things damaged on the car as well. The rears just damaged. Imagine if there was actually rear wing damage. How much that would have cost us. But we end the session outside the top 10, outside the top 15, and outside the top 20. Yeah, we're 20th and 21st with Mick actually ahead of us somehow. I don't understand how that's just happened. It is time for the French Grand Prix, but before the actual race, the French GP, it's qualifying. Let's see how we do on this one. I'm not sure if this is going to be a promising qualifying session. I just hope that we get as far as 20th place, or as far as Q1. If we can get into Q2, that would be great. If we can get into Q3, that would be even better. If we can get in pole position, in which we can't, that would be spectacular. But into the first few corners of this track, now we're getting towards turn number 3 and then turn 4. Keep the car on the exit and into the entry of turn 5 and then into turn number 6. Let's just see if we can keep the car together with us into turn number 7. Going up through the Mistral Straight and activating the DRS. We've got no manual ERS in this game, unfortunately, for qualifying. And then into these next few corners, turn number 9, and then the small kink again, and now onto the end of the Mistral Straight, which I think shouldn't be separated by a chicane, as we absolutely lose the rear. Oh my goodness me. The traction control is on medium, but I'm still losing the rear anyhow. I think the car just has bad aero, because I don't think I'd be losing the rear like that. So this lap time has been invalidated. So I guess we'll have to go back to the garage and regroup, because we've absolutely messed everything up. We want to check the weather report. It's as clear as Romain Grosjean slows down completely, like he's trying to let me through or something. And now we've only got 50 seconds left in Q1. Let's see if we can get ourselves out, set a flying lap for the first time in this session, because we have not, as I get a big snap of oversteer there. That's not good for the lap time. And then into turn number 4. Let's see if we can keep the car on, in the exit and the entry. We've gone well wide onto those curbs there. We've lost about 0.08 of a second. And now onto turn number 7, blasting down the Mistral Straight. Not for long, I guess, because there's a damn chicane. Blasting down 332, perhaps 332. Yeah, it was the top speed. But we've gone riding against those curbs. And then, yeah, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Qualifying is over. Let's see how we do into this corner, as we nearly lose the rear, and now we've lost the rear. Oh my goodness me. I guess this is going to be a hard race for us. We have completely messed up our qualifying session. The car's aero is just as bad as anything I can think of. And once again, our lap time has been invalidated. We had less fuel than expected, so I'm not really surprised. So that's our run of getting into Q3 over. We got into Q3 the last race. We are starting dead last in this race, something I have not done for quite some time, to be honest, as we've got a load of warnings, about 5 of them. It's not a good sight to see, but let's make up for it in the race. I know we can try and get a good result. Let's go for the French Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. And Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Stroll, Sainz, Ricciardo and Lewis Hamilton, Norris, Kvyat, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen, Grosjean, Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell, Schumacher, Latifi and Roberts. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, as Crofty did say, France is the home to what is Grand Prix racing. The word Grand Prix is a French word. I think I saw it once that Grand Prix actually translates for big race. So France is the home to Grand Prix racing. Whichever motorsport. It got motorsports. It was home to motorsports. Birth, well, if I can say that, if that makes any sense. So we're just getting ready for the formation lap, waiting for everyone to go. Of course, it's everyone ahead of me because I'm starting dead last. And now, enough of the formation lap. Let's get started with the French Grand Prix. The big race, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights as we absolutely rev our car. With the other cars, it's lights out and away we go. So much wheel spin for these other guys up ahead of us. We're in between the Williams here. We're just trying to squeeze it through. We're going to the inside, a big dive on the inside there. We just want to keep it together into turn number 2. We've jumped a few cars. I think we've jumped 4 cars at the start of this race. 4 cars, I think. Yes, 4 cars as Russell tries to make a move on us. No, that's Giovinazzi, rather. Now we're going around the outside of Pierre Gasly here, who I would expect as a Frenchman for him to be in the midfield. Yet he's not. So we've jumped Pierre Gasly. Now we're going on to the Mistral Straight, maxing out over 300 and, well, we've reached 302 kilometers an hour. And into the Mistral Straight. Gasly on the other side trying to make a move, and he spun us round. Pierre Gasly spun us round from like 17th position, and that's our race, taking a big twist. He's got a 5-second time penalty, deserved. I don't know if I did leave him space, but Pierre Gasly has compromised our race to the extent where we are 1.7 seconds away from the pack. This is not good at all for us. The fact that I want to get a good result in this one, that just absolutely changes everything for us. So we have to make a big comeback. We're not that far away from the nearest car, which is Latifi, but there is a big gap as well. So we've caught up to our teammate. Latifi's actually fallen behind us here somehow. I don't know how that's happened, but I don't really care about that because Latifi has done a few bad things to us this season, like Monaco, where he brake checked us before the first corner, just meters after the start. So now we are slipstreaming our teammate Mick Schumacher, who wants to pull out a fight between the two of us. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be doing that. I don't want to make contact with the son of a 7-time Formula 1 world champion. Yeah. He's giving us a little tap there, but that's a friendly nudge as a teammate. But we've gone past him on the Mistral Straight and we're up into P18. Looks like there are a few cars that are falling behind us as we absolutely go wide at the exit of the Mistral Straight. And now into turn number 6, we're gaining so much drive. We're catching up to George Russell. Big contender for the Mercedes scene in 2021, except now we are using DRS. It's the 3rd lap of the race. Russell defends heavily, and we're back into P17. Yes, from P21, we've gained 4 positions after our disastrous contact with Peter Gasly. In case you guys didn't know that, Pierre is French for Peter. Yes, Pierre Gasly is Peter Gasly, if you didn't know that. You see, good people like me always give you guys the facts. So it's the third lap of the race. Now we're on to the fourth lap of the race, and so far nothing has happened in this race except the fact that we could be pitting soon, as Russell has decided to attack us now. He's come from nowhere there, and then we've given him a big advantage there. This is some good stuff here, although it might just last for a few seconds before I eventually overtake Russell. He gives us no room at all around the outside, and we've gone off the track there. And now into these few corners, we're going to make a big send here, and that is exactly what I was talking about. The switchback, whenever you go wide of that corner, just come back to the inside and switch back. That is brilliant. That's what I like about the F1 game. You can make switchbacks whenever you want. And now I think it's the time when we open the pit window, and the pit window is open, and then we do the strategy call and come into the pits. I think we're pitting for medium tires. No, we're pitting for soft tires. So I think it's a two-stop race. So unlike the real life race where they're expecting to do one stop, here we are in the F1 game doing a two-stop in a 27-lap race, which I think is very, very outrageous. Coming into the pits, let's see if our pit stop is faster than Valtteri Bottas's 43-hour pit stop. Not to rub it in, Valtteri, if you're watching. A 2.5 pit stop for us. A 2.5 second pit stop, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. And into turn number 1, we've come out dead last from where we started. Yeah, we all start from somewhere. Don't criticize me in the comments because I started last. It's not my fault that this track is just a testing track for amateurs. So we want to see how things are going to go. We're saving a bit of fuel for this race. We do not want to run out of fuel just like some people have on this game. I've only run out of fuel in qualifying and practice. I've never run out of fuel in an actual race on the F1 game. So at least I should be happy about something. So we've got a car pulling over. That's Nicholas Latifi, just trying to gain a useless tow, which didn't benefit me. And we're up to P20 with Esteban Ocon, another Frenchman who's just decided to pit and is last place now. Sorry, Latifi's now last place. So now Latifi's out of the race. So I was expecting a safety car, but we don't get a safety car. That's not really a big problem because I didn't really need a safety car. So we're just coming across the start-finish straight, and now we've jumped a few cars. Kevin Magnussen has gone in front, and we're back into P18, except we need to be in P17 because that's where turn number 2 is where I nearly did a Tsunoda. If you didn't watch French Grand Prix qualifying in 2021, I'm very sorry for you. But we come in for a second stop because it's part of the two-stop. Gasly is in the pits as well, but he's exited right about now. So we've come out and a 2.1 second pit stop. That's pretty fast, you know. As our teammate Mick jumps us and we're into P21, aka dead lost, but except we can remove the dead because Latifi is currently doing that job for us while he's only God knows where Latifi is. Only God knows where these AIs go when they retire. It's either they just go to heaven or they just go underground. I don't know. But I think he's obviously in the pits, in the paddock, crying his ass off. Yeah, he's just like, oh, come on. I really needed to beat Octave. He's one of my rivals at this point. But enough of tomfoolery for now, as we are on the road to catching up to our teammate here. Now we're catching up to Esteban Ocon. Let's see if we can get into the slipstream. He's on hard tires. We're on hard tires. Mick is on hard tires. So I guess me and Mick have played the same strategy call at this point in the race, as we've got about 9 laps to go. Now we're going to try around the outside move of Esteban Ocon. He's not left us any space at all. Let's hear if he doesn't brake check us. He doesn't, except we go as wide as anything. Are we going for that switchback again? Yes, we are. That was absolutely tight. I remember I posted a short about Leclerc doing the same thing, except I was the one that was driving as Leclerc. I did the switchback on Valtteri Bottas. You guys can actually check out that short. It's on my channel. It's nowhere else. But Ocon has gotten us back, and now we need to overtake him. We've got the DRS, we've got the ERS, plenty of ERS for this first part of the straight. And now, as I have a voice crack, but coming around the outside of turn number 1, that is a brilliant move there. I wasn't expecting myself to do that, but that is incredible. We're up to P19, nothing's much to be excited about. P19 is P19. Nothing happens at that point. Once you're in that position, nothing's going on. 8 laps to go of the French Grand Prix, a race in which nothing has really happened. I wish Pierre Gasly was behind me because, well, he's the guy that ruined my entire race. Sergio Perez, for the second time, wins a Grand Prix this season. I remember last season he won a Grand Prix in Spa. And he won the Canadian Grand Prix, the race where we scored points illegally. So Perez gets his second win in a row, which I think is a phenomenal result. What's not so phenomenal is the fact that we've run off the track for about the 5th time this weekend, or 7th time this weekend, at the very same corner, which I don't like anymore. So into these next few parts, we've got Mick, who's just right behind us with Esteban Ocon, but I'm sure those guys aren't catching up. Ocon actually holds the fastest lap of the race. We are doing a bit of corner cutting there, a bit of riding on the curbs, but we're safe enough. Yeah, we're safe enough. We come across the line to wrap up what has been the most disappointing French Grand Prix of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the French Grand Prix. Here we go.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions, and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
The Racing Point team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish.
Well, I must say, I've had better French Grand Prix in my life, on different sorts of games. Project Cars 2, I've had better French Grand Prix. It's a first place for Sergio Perez, a second place for Lando Norris, and a third place for Valtteri Bottas. But I'm more surprised with Perez that he's gotten a second win in a row, which I think he might do in 2021, but I clearly doubt that. But second place for Lando Norris is incredible. We're in P19 with 1 point to our name, and in the constructors standings, only God knows where I am. Let's go for our famous old hobby with Claire.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Have you learned a lot from your battle with your rival? It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Appreciate your time.
Well guys, a 36-minute and 17-second video. Really, it felt like it was 10 minutes for me. So we've got a sponsorship renewal that we need to do. DSB Optics. We don't know whether we're going to renew them or just replace them. So we're going to organize some activities. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, let me just not say guys, but ladies and gentlemen, that has been the French Grand Prix. That has been another episode of F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. If you guys did enjoy this episode, please do me a favor. And also guys, just to remind you, if you've been a fan of me on Twitter, I'm no longer on Twitter anymore. So at least you can follow my Twitch. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, share this video with your friends, and from me, Octave Game with the OG Boy. Peace.